Yes, good evening. My name is Reverend Dr. Wallace Bradley, and I'm the host of the Bradley Report. I'm also the president of United in Peace, Inc. This show is being presented by United in Peace, Inc. And the issues that we're talking about is to grab the community and make them aware of what's happening. And the issues that's presented on this show is with the help of the chairman of United Peace, Inc., none other than Dr. Terry Marsh Bradley. There's a lot of things that's happening in the city of Chicago. Everybody knows that there's a mayoral race. There's a lot of people that's running for mayor, and they all wondering when the mayor is going to announce that he's going to run for mayor. And what the mayor is doing is letting the people know that he is the mayor, and he's doing what mayor's supposed to do now to show the people what he's doing. There's a lot of people out there, including myself, that's helping to get petitions signed for the mayor to run. But without further ado, I want you to hear what the mayor is saying as opposed to all of those that's running against the mayor is saying. Because they have what I call flip Chicago red mentality. It's a MAGA syndrome. So without further ado, Amani, let's go to work.
Wants to undermine public assets. Again, as I said before, we're celebrating Juneteenth. Housing and public housing in particular, that was one of the demands of the formerly enslaved. So it wouldn't surprise me if the President of the United States of America is going after something that black people fought for and still want today. The federal government wants to undermine public assets. Again, as I said before, we're celebrating Juneteenth. Housing and public housing in particular, that was one of the demands of the formerly enslaved. So it wouldn't surprise me if the President of the United States of America is going after something that black people fought for and still want today. The federal
Okay. Those that's running now, the vast majority of them, they don't have a platform, or they hid the platform until they made the announcement that they're trying to run for mayor. You got one guy that's running, he's got one job already. As a matter of fact, he's running to be reelected to that job, and he's running to become mayor. But you got about 3 candidates that have a job, running for a job, why they got a job. But you never heard them speak about a public housing platform nor concern. You got a lot of those that's running. During the 2026 budget being put together, I believe it was at the end of December, you had 30 aldermen within the city council. you had 17 in the city council. The 17 was for the proposal that the mayor was proposing. And he was asking that, I believe, 3% of, for lack of a better phrase, the super rich to pay less than 0.00008 taxes, which would have generated $100 million in the budget. They voted against the mayor's proposal. And here we are in August, but it came out, I believe, in June of 2026, that a hole was created in the 2026 budget to the tune of 90 million to maybe 100 million. What the mayor was talking about, he exceeded what they were talking about. They didn't create any revenue based off of what they was talking about. So he's busy being a mayor instead of acting like a candidate. Amani, let's get to the next piece.
Testament to how I believe people are responding in this moment. And this is no disrespect to mainstream network media, but you all cover a certain way in a certain style, right? And there's a traditional form that you all adhere to that social media is not necessarily subject to. Clearly, you are noticing that there are more people who are talking me up. Quite frankly, it's been organic. You know, and I think it's a testament to how I believe people are responding in this moment. And this is no disrespect to mainstream network media, but you all cover a certain way in a certain style, right? And there's a traditional form that you all adhere to that social media is not necessarily subject to. Clearly, you are noticing that there are more people who are talking me up. Quite frankly, it's been organic. You know, and I think it's a testament to how I believe people are responding in this moment. And this is no disrespect to mainstream network media, but you all cover a certain way in a certain style, right? And there's a traditional form that you all adhere to that social media is not necessarily subject to. Clearly, you are noticing that there are more people who are talking me up. Quite frankly, it's been organic. You know, and I think it's a testament to how I believe people.
It's important what the mayor is laying down. It's important to what the mayor is laying down, which is what I call a I told you so platform, what was gonna happen. When I hear or see black aldermen, they got a right to do what they want to do. But how do you say the mayor is doing nothing when you got development that's happening in your ward because of what Lori started and what Mayor Brandon Johnson carried on to the tune of maybe $4+ billion, especially on the south and west side. Him and his administration is responsible for development that's happening all over the city. But you have the Black MAGA and the supporters that's being influenced by the rich. They're saying, make sure he don't tax, make sure they don't tax us. When it's a business expense and they can pay it off. Now, the people's eyes are opening up. The young adults, the young influencers, they're helping to tell the story of what's really happening because they dealing on truth. And they want to take Chicago back to where African Americans weren't being inclusive on issues that were affecting their wards and as far as development. Where were all these individuals standing when the fight was against ICE and Trump? It was real quiet because majority of those that's running is a part of the cabal that was in support of what Trump and MAGA was doing. But all I can tell you, it's imperative that we, as the people of the city of Chicago, protect the vested interests that you had or that you have when you chose, like I chose, to elect Brandon Johnson. And when I hear people saying, talking about African Americans and others, how they love Harold Washington, how great Harold Washington was, and what would Harold Washington do if he was here today. And when you tell them the truth, that it was Harold Washington that created the sanctuary city in '83. And when Harold Washington did his fundraising or whatever it was a Washington for a Washington. So when you see what Brandon is doing, is what Harold Washington would have done if he was here today. So don't be Mac fooled, because we see a lot of them candidates running through the Buffalo Day Parade, be it Congressman Danny Davis Parade. They love February when they come through so they can come and show that they really care when they don't. But I'm telling you, I'm asking you, and I pray that you listen. February 23rd, during Black History Month, you got to be out there, re-elect the man that y'all chose to be mayor then. Re-elect him February 23rd, 2027. And something else, November the 3rd, make sure that you re-elect J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois. November 3rd, 2026, make sure that you, the people of Illinois, elect the second African American woman, United States Senator. Now let me get to the matter at hand that's very personal. As you know, I helped Mark Maxson. He said he was allegedly tortured, but he was wrongfully convicted for the murder and the rape of a child that he did not do. He reached out to an inmate in Stateville Penitentiary, Gerald Reed, to reach out to me to help him, because he knew I was helping a lot of other guys within Stateville that was wrongfully convicted. Went down, I listened to his plea, because he was in the same penitentiary that I did my time in. So I understand what he was saying and his passion in what he was saying. Just take my word for it as he was saying. And if I get out, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to take care of the lawyer. I got you. And I'm listening to him. I'm seeing him from an ex-felon's perspective, but was a felon. Looking at him in his eye as a felon. So we understanding everything. So your word is your word behind that wall. But I was wise enough, and I thank God that I was wise enough to say, but you're going to have to sign a contract for me to do what I do. And he signed it. I was instrumental being a part of a team to help freedom and help him get $8,750,000 from 2013 to 2025. I had lawyers, but they weren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then I end up representing myself. June 18th, 2026, got a court order from the judge where I could represent myself pro se. And I was able to see everything they was doing wrong. They was doing to me. Because they didn't want me to get paid for what I did. Even though I had all the evidence to show it. So, July 22nd, 2016, by court order, Mark Maxson's lawyer, Attorney Beck, he deposed me. I had no problem. Because we had to do this by July 24th. So he had the right to depose me on the 22nd. I had the right to depose Mark Maxson on the 23rd. Now the man had a buffer within the system where he didn't have to talk to me. I couldn't reach out to him. I had to have my lawyer talk to his lawyer. I couldn't talk to his lawyer. But June 18th, the dynamics changed. I had him under oath where I could depose him. I hadn't seen the white of that man's eyes since December, I want to say 2024 or January 2025. The city council had agreed that he should get the $8,750,000. I give him my invoice. I was Harbor team. His lawyers asked me, what do I want? I tell them 325 to 350,000. Somehow or another, we ended up with 312. That was cool with me. But when his lawyer deposed me, he asked the question, why didn't I ask for $800,000? I thought that was strange. Why would you ask me? Why didn't I ask him for $800,000? All I wanted was $312,000. He said, you don't want no more money? I don't want nothing from him other than the $312,000 that they owe me. Well, August the 10th, I had put in motions because his lawyer interrupted my deposition. One of the motions was to compel the resumption of Mark Maxon's deposition because his lawyer violated the rules. And I also put in a motion. It's a rule, it's called a Rule 213F3, a control expert witness. And my expert witness was adjunct Professor Beneth Lee, an ex-felon, now a professor. He's my expert witness. And they didn't want him to be my expert witness. But the judge on the 10th granted my motions for Beneth Lee to be my expert witness and for me to get extra time to depose Mark Maxon, 45 minutes to get everything right and get my evidence in. Get this pro se by God's mercy and grace. So what I'm saying is this. Don't give up faith. Walk by faith in God. He gonna make things right. God, in my opinion and belief, chose me to be a vessel to help free Mark Maxon and to help him to get compensated for the time that he was in, including helping him to get a $10,000 loan after he had got a certificate of innocence. I thank God for the judge and for Benny Lee and for allowing me to represent myself. So without further ado, I want to say this to you. Register and vote. Get educated about those that's running for office so that you can make an educated choice instead of being misguided by someone that don't mean the city any good voice. I'm going to continue to help those that's wrongfully convicted. I'm going to continue to walk by faith in God. And I want to say to you, re-elect Mayor Brandon Johnson, re-elect Governor J.B. Pritzker in November the 3rd, Mayor Brandon Johnson, February 23rd, 2027. And don't forget to elect Juliana Stratton, November 3rd, 2026, as the United States Senator representing the state of Illinois. To God be the glory. That's Gator's story.